We live in an age of weaponized ambiguity, where international diplomacy is conducted as much by whispers to journalists as it is through summits and handshakes. And a recent Washington Post report suggests that President Trump, that his support for Israel is no longer unconditional. According to unnamed sources there, Trump's people are telling the Prime Minister Netanyahu quite plainly, end the war in Gaza or risk being abandoned. Predictably, denials followed with the usual chorus through Fox News of fake news, but the message, whether authentic or strategically planted, whether true or false, has echoed through the media and has undoubtedly hit home. This apparent rupture in support comes as Israel escalates its bombardment of Gaza, recalls tens of thousands of reservists, and is accused by multiple allies of creating conditions of mass starvation. In response to the outcry, Netanyahu has begrudgingly allowed limited humanitarian aid into the enclave, framing it as a diplomatic necessity. Indeed, this phrasing was telling: we must not let the population sink into famine. Even our closest friends would not tolerate such images. Trump, ever theatrical, used his Middle East tour to signal disapproval, not by words alone, but by omission. He snubbed Netanyahu, engaged Arab leaders, and publicly stated that Gaza's suffering had to be addressed. People are starving, he said. We need to be good to Gaza. It was a sentence unthinkable from the same man who once moved the US embassy to Jerusalem. Predictably, Trump's camp reacted with the usual toolkit: strategic amnesia, blustering denial. A spokesperson claimed, "That's a lie. The idea we would abandon Israel is absurd." The former Arkansas governor and ambassador-in-waiting, Mike Huckabee, in characteristically florid style, dismissed the claims as a fantasy of a bored journalist. Adam Boehler, Trump's envoy for hostage affairs, added nuance, insisting Trump may use tough talk but remains Israel's best friend. But here's the point. The threat may not need to be true to be effective. It's political theatre with real-world consequences. The ambiguity gives Trump room to disown it publicly while still forcing Netanyahu's hand privately. Strategic leaks have long been a tool of American diplomacy, and Trump, whose governing style thrives on loyalty tests and personal favours, would hardly be above such a gambit. What we're witnessing may be less about Gaza and more about power. Trump's foreign power, if it deserves that term, is transactional. He prizes leverage above loyalty, and the message to Israel is brutally simple: if you cause us political damage through images of starving children or unending war, we will walk away. And that threat isn't new. Trump has long questioned the value of alliances that cost the US too much or risk domestic backlash. There are also rumblings that Trump may be prepared to finalize a Saudi nuclear deal without Israeli involvement, further undermining Netanyahu's regional influence. And let's not forget, Trump has a complicated relationship with Netanyahu. The famously icy period following Israel's 2020 recognition of Biden's victory has never fully been resolved. Domestically, this is politically useful. Trump can appear to support Israel while also responding to growing public weariness, particularly among younger voters and segments of the Republican base, about US entanglement in Middle Eastern wars. Humanitarian fatigue is a potent force, and footage of gaunt children and bombed hospitals is shaping Western public opinion. The idea that Trump might distance himself from Israel is no longer inconceivable. It's strategic theatre tailored for multiple audiences. And for Netanyahu, the dilemma is clear and existential. He's politically isolated, morally compromised, militarily overextended, and the hostage situation remains unresolved. His domestic critics are gaining traction, but his base demands strength, or at least the appearance of strength, and he must placate the far right while not alienating his most essential ally. It is, of course, an impossible balancing act, and Trump knows it. So, has Trump fully and truly threatened to abandon Israel? Well, possibly. But even if not, the perception of that threat is enough to alter behaviour, I hope, to push Netanyahu into allowing aid, to slow the pace of bombings, to perhaps to finally consider an end game. And in that sense, it doesn't matter whether the threat is real or fake, the power lies in the doubt and in the theatrical ambiguity that Donald Trump has perfected. In diplomacy, as in drama, timing is everything. And in this performance, the curtain may soon fall not on the war itself, but on the illusion of an eternal alliance between America and Israel.